Afternoon, Commissioners. We'll come to order. We will begin the monthly Anderson County Commission Budget Committee meeting for Thursday, April 10, 2025. Rob, if you would, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Mays.
Here.
Commissioner Palmer.
Here.
Commissioner Vandegrift.
Here.
Commissioner Val.
Here.
Commissioner White.
Here.
Commissioner Allen.
Here.
Commissioner Beauchamp. And Commissioner Smallridge.
Here. Let the record reflect we do have a quorum. If you would, join me in prayer, please, after which we'll ask Commissioner Vandegrift to lead us in the pledge. Heavenly Father, we come to you again today to thank you, Lord, for your salvation. Thank you, Lord, for your guidance. Thank you, Lord, for everything that you do for us each and every day. Please forgive us of our many sins, times, Lord, when we don't do as you would have us to do. Please guide us in this meeting today. Guide our hearts, guide our minds, Lord, to do what's right in the sight of your people, for your people. All this we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Attention, salute, pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioners. Now we will have appearance of citizens. If anyone would like to address the committee on items that are or may not be on the agenda for today. Anyone who wants to approach the committee?
Yes.
If you would, sir, state your name, your address, and you have approximately 3 minutes. We'll let you know when you get close.
Yeah, and
If you don't mind, we won't count 3 minutes. He's going to introduce speakers.
I'm just going to be a brief introduction.
Okay.
And then I'm Jim Norman. I'm an attorney, Joyce Meredith Flitcroft and Norman over in Oak Ridge. Been there for a long time. We're serving as local counsel for Zayo Education, Inc. Zayo Education, Inc. is an internet provider that I think provides internet services for about 94% of the state of Tennessee and about 22% of the country. There was recently a bid for services in Anderson County, and although Zayo was the low bidder, they were not chosen, and therefore they have filed a protest today on that and other reasons. We have 3 different people here today to speak on behalf of Zayo. We have, first of all, Dewey Brandstetter Jr. Mr. Brandstetter is with the law firm of Sherrard and Rowe in Nashville. His dad and family was from Morgan County, and we've worked with the Brandstetter firm for many years. The other one is Eric Osborne, an attorney also with Sherrard and Rowe. His family's from Knox County, just to get some local ties to these people. And finally, we have Michael McCurley. Michael McCurley is the president of Zayo Education, Inc. He's very familiar with the services that were provided or bid for in the bid, and he'll be speaking with you. He's familiar with the Anderson County contract and contracts all across the country. They did ask if either I can introduce this or they can introduce this, just a notebook that encompasses the protest, the bid, various information that we'd just like to make available to put in for the Budget Committee to consider if they want to discuss it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I have a question,
Go ahead.
if you don't mind.
Yep.
I would say, I mean, obviously, I don't want to stop this to be a continuous time for Mr. Norman, but there's a place for this on the agenda. I want to make sure that we're not about to take up the next 30 minutes of listening to this. We've got a place for this on the agenda. In addition to that, I guess I would be very curious. It seems like there's a lot of folks here, and I've seen a poster board. It looks like that we're getting set up for a hearing, and I'm not sure that this committee is even prepared for that today. So I guess after Mr. Norman talks, I'd like to maybe hear from our law director and from Robbie, because I don't think that we're ready to maybe hear all of the stuff that they've got to say today.
And I'll just comment briefly. We were advised, we inquired and were advised that you're not set up for an adversarial hearing of that kind, and that each of these individuals will be allowed to speak 3 minutes during the public comment time, and that would be the only time that they would be allowed to speak. If you want to delay to continue or suspend the public comment time until this the bid protest comes up, that's fine. We'll follow your lead, but I agree that there's a lot of people here, and they all realize that there are three of them, they're only allowed to speak 3 minutes each.
And I would just ask that,
Let's do it all at one time.
and if it's going to be three people saying the same thing, then
They promise they're not, but I don't know.
well, I think just being in repetitive in nature, that I would just ask that we invoke the authority that you have as chair, that either one or two of them to speak instead of, I would just ask for that. But again, I'll sit back and listen.
I understand.
In response to that, they each are going to address a separate topic, and they're not supposed to be. They've agreed they're not going to be repetitive.
Okay.
And I'll stop talking.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anyone else who wants to address the committee at this time under appearance of citizens?
Do you want to wait?
No, sir. I think Commissioner May's point is well taken. We do have this on the agenda, and knowing attorneys the way I do over the last 32 years, I know it's going to be hard if something pops into your head that you didn't think about before that was said that sparks an idea. So if we could wait and do it all at one time, I think that'd be in the best interest of the committee. Anyone else wants to address it? Doesn't have anything to do with the ZAO contract. All right, hearing none. Next item on the agenda is approval of the agenda.
Do you want a motion first before I add?
No, just go ahead.
Okay, I'd like to add the Scarborough 85 project under
Okay.
new business.
Scarborough 85. And then also, I think the finance director has requested we add the new TCA potential tax volume, hotel motel tax under new business as well. So that adds 2 items under new business.
Mr. Chair, if I may, if time permits, it's if we could just add allocation of revenue discussion.
Under new business,
Yes, sir.
allocation of revenue. Okay. Any further? You'll have a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Palmer. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Smallridge. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. Motion carried. Go ahead, Robbie.
Under purchasing contracts with legal review, there are 10 of those. We are deleting the State of Tennessee Department of Environmental Conservation from the Office of Mayor. That contract has already been approved in County Commission earlier in a commission meeting under the mayor's report. So it's B through K, 10 contracts. I'd be happy to take those as a group or answer any questions. Catherine is here as well, and Dr. Parrott if there's any school contracts.
Motion to approve the group.
Motion by Commissioner Vandergrift to approve contracts B through K.
Yes, sir.
That is seconded by Commissioner Allen. Any discussion?
Give me a second. I have a couple of questions.
Okay.
All right, so on these grants, Robbie, are any of those matching grants? So the D, that emergency management grant, is that a match?
I think that's on the.
I'm sorry, I could not get my stuff to pull up.
That's
J
only
is-
J is matching
only the
for the
J one.
EMS training
Okay.
center. We've already appropriated all those funds for that
Okay.
for that grant as well. Thank
All
you.
right. And then on C, the circuit court clerk one, that 3-year software agreement, that money, will that come out of that department's?
It already does, yes.
It does? Okay.
Yes.
That's all I have. Sorry.
Any further questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say no. Motion carried.
Okay, purchasing contracts pending legal review. We have 3 of those. The first one, Merit Construction, has been approved by the law director. That's the Board of Education contract for the new Claxton Elementary School. To be completed within 672 days. Cost is $27,896,600. I'll just go ahead and take that one individually and then.
Make a motion to approve.
Commissioner Mays moves to approve item number 4A. Do we have a second? Second by Commissioner Allen. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say no. Motion carried.
And B and C, Studio 4 Office of the Mayor contract is an architectural contract services for a new EMS location center. It's the ones that are in each of the locations, and one in Oak Ridge, Andersonville, etc. He actually showed that in the workshop, the
Design.
design for what each of them could look like. This is just to do 2 phases of the. I'm trying to find the word.
Commissioner Allen moves to approve item number 4B. Do we have a second? Second by Commissioner Vandegrift. Any discussion?
I have a,
Commissioner Mays.
Robbie, I think you're still, you want to finish your,
Well, there's a budget amendment or under discussion, section B, there's an amendment to pay $64,800 for 2 phases of that contract, the design development and the construction documents.
and Mayor, you don't have to get up. Is this just the concepts for the different, so if we wanted to build one in Andersonville, if it's a smaller one or a bigger one, is that what this is?
Just the prototype that could be in each community.
We're not talking locations, right?
No, sir.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with it.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say no. Motion carried.
Okay, and the last one, number C, is Mountain View Community Action Corporation, Office of Mayor, contract 250135. It's a 5-year lease agreement for $1 per year.
Motion to approve.
Commissioner Allen moves to approve item number 4C. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Smallridge. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say no. Motion carried.
Next up on the agenda is actually the bid protest. Zayo Education Networks of America protesting award of schools E-rate managed internet access and telecommunication services RFP to United Data Technologies. That bid protest was filed March 6, 2025 with the county. And I am going to, since it is a bid protest with lawyers involved, lean to Mr. Brooks for the county's side of this.
Mr. Chairman, if I'm sorry if I may, I have a question for Mr. Brooks.
I was going to actually have him come to the podium and get us started on this.
And this is not an answer that you may have right now, but I would be curious to know, is there a requirement under Tennessee statute or Tennessee law that requires a county to have a protest within, I know the 81 Act doesn't spell it out, but that requires a county to have a bid protest within their purchasing guidelines? Seems to be not as common in counties that the route would be any issue that a party would have with the schools, that they would file that with Chancery Court. But I guess I feel like that as a body, I mean, there's some, any attorney being in here, I mean, we're being asked to almost be a judge in this case. And just like we did in the bid protest, and I'll just be honest with you, I think that Anderson County sets themselves up for very unnecessary exposure and positions when the law doesn't, I haven't seen it, But when the law doesn't require us to hear bid protests.
Good points, Commissioner Mason. And what I'll answer this way, with regard to the statutory, if there's a statutory requirement, I can't speak to that, but I can speak to the purchasing policy in Anderson County, and it does provide for a protest mechanism.
Yeah.
It's not spelled out specifically, other than the protest is filed. The budget committee, in consultation with the law director, review it and make a decision. I think it's within 60 days of the filing of the protest. And that's really the only guidance we have.
Yeah, and I think if maybe in the future, after the dust settles, if that's something we could look at, that your office could look at to see, is it really something that we should be doing as a county?
Right. Your role here today is administrative, and it's not to review the bid for, how good or bad it is for
Right.
one party or the other. You're simply asked to do four things: review it to see if they followed the procedure, did they do anything fraudulently in awarding the bid, was it capricious, was it arbitrary. That's really the intent, that's the inquiry. And I think, should it be upheld or not upheld, I guess the next step would be, as you say, to Chancery Court for basically another writ of certiorari, and that's kind of what this is, if that's an answer to your question.
Yeah, I would think. I would just think if this is a step that could legally be skipped, it could save them a lot of time and save them a lot of money in the long run. If we're not, we went through this with the bus, and that was, I would rather have 17 root canals than go through that. But if this is something, I would just say if we could look at this in the future of not being in this position, I think it would be beneficial.
Okay. Very well. Chairman.
Go ahead, Mr. Brooks.
Well, what you have in front of you this afternoon is, as has been outlined by Mr. Holbrook, is this bid protest. I have attempted to sort of take and consolidate what I was provided with. And in the memo I drafted, you'll see the 6 or 7 things that we looked at when we were reviewing this. Specifically, there were a list of, I think, 4 challenges outlined in the bid protest, and 2 of them sort of overlapped, and that's the way I addressed them in the memo. And if I can. Okay. In the bid protest, there is an allegation of lack of any meaningful evaluation of the RFP, and there's some subcategories under there, and I've listed them, and I've listed their response from the school system to them. And I've one that we did not specifically respond to in the memo because I did not have the information in front of me at that time is on the page with the conclusion. And it says the RFP did not appear on the vendor website. That concerned me until I had obtained a better understanding of what the type of contract we have in front of us, and that is, I'll throw a bunch of terms out that I don't really know the meaning of, but the bottom line is the schools can get up to 90% rebate or credit from the federal government for their internet access and telecommunications, they have to have their contracts in by the 26th of March. That is a hard deadline. So if you back up from there, with that laid out, this particular RFP appeared on a federal website. And that federal website is not confined to, but is sort of a home for these contractors that specialize in this kind of thing. So I don't, under the circumstances, I don't see the fact that it wasn't on the registry with what I know now as an issue. That's one I did not address in the memo. The purchasing office was certainly within its rights under the policy handbook to go ahead and award the contract and have the agreement signed. There's a specific policy that says bids do not hold up the issuance of contracts. And beyond that, I guess it simply becomes do we believe the school system when they set out, which has been set out for us and me in this memo, the procedure they followed in evaluating. There's a question raised because of the quick turnaround, the quick trigger between the submission of the proposals and the award of the contract. I saw a satisfactory explanation for the quick turnaround in the documents I prepared. Am I getting in too much detail? I tend to go down rabbit trails, and I don't want to do that with you. The one thing that kind of caught my attention, in addition to the vendor website, is there's a claim that the contract could be affected by the outcome of some litigation in Nashville, Tennessee that's filed in federal court. That lawsuit is between these two parties. And the ultimate relief there that is being sought by Zayo is an injunction against some of UDT's employees that are now, that were formerly Zayo employees. However, there was no request and no grant of a temporary injunction on the front end. So that weighed in my evaluation of this as well. Again, I am, in my opinion, I'm relying a lot on the response of the school systems and the hard deadline the school system was under, coupled with the idea, and I think it's a good idea, is not to run up against the deadline, but get your work in, because you got, if it's $1 million contract, and I think it's about that much, you got $900,000 on the line, federal reimbursement. So that's not anything that you want to take lightly. Certainly it's not my job to have you prejudge what you might hear today from these individuals. So I won't give you my ultimate opinion at this point. I mean, you can read it; it's in the memo.
Mr. Brooks, do you think it would be more appropriate? I know we did this with the bus, but if we hear, I mean, I'm okay with hearing from whoever, Mr. Chairman, but if we went into executive session, because I don't I would much feel more comfortable once we get into his legal opinion and how he may have arrived at that legal opinion and all those things. I think just for us as a body to be safe, and that we would go into executive session and to hear that when we get to that point.
When we get to that point.
Yes, sir.
Okay, not today.
I would just maybe ask if we just go ahead and hear from everybody, and then
Okay.
when we get to, cutting time, that
Well, that's Commissioner, that's exactly how I analyzed it as well.
Okay.
I think there will be a time for that. So
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll sit down and shut
Right.
up.
Thank you, Mr. Brooks. All right, gentlemen, I think if my memory serves me correctly, we were told that there were 3 of you that would be wanting to address the committee. Okay, the first one that come forward, please state your name, please. And I believe we're going to give you 3 minutes. Please address your comments to the chair. And when 3 minutes gets there, I'll let you know in a nice, polite way. And to Commissioner May's point, please don't repeat what maybe one of your fellow associates has said. Just try to stay on track. That's all we ask. Thank you, sir. Go ahead.
Thank you, Chairman. My name is Michael McCurley. I'm the president of Zayo Education, formerly Education Networks of America. We are the current managed service provider and internet service provider to Anderson County schools and 94% of all other school districts in the state of Tennessee. I have worked at ENA, now called Zayo Education, for 25 years come this summer. I started as an hourly worker on our internal IT team. I worked as an engineer in many schools, including Anderson and here in Clinton City. I eventually became CTO, or Chief Technology Officer of ENA, and then its president. It has been the honor of my life to serve Tennessee schools for these past 25 years. I have been inside many of your school buildings, troubleshooting issues, installing new service here and in almost every other county in the state. Mr. Brandstetter, Mr. Osborne, Mr. Normand will detail more the arguments and reasons for our protest. I would just like to say thank you to everyone here, Chairman, Commissioners, for hearing our argument today and for your consideration of our protest. Lastly, I will just say a couple of things. I don't want to contradict anyone. It is not quite true that the school system here in Anderson County would risk its E-rate funding, the 90% federal funding, because they have a valid contract with us and in fact filed for E-rate with us this year. We're really talking about future years and who becomes the internet service provider for Anderson County and other public schools in the state then. I also want to address an issue we are variously referred to as ENA and Zayo, and I know that can be confusing. In June of 2022, Zayo Group Holdings bought Education Networks of America, and in January of this year, we changed our name from Education Networks of America to Zayo Education, Inc., or LLC. We have both. As with many integrations, when one organization merges with another, I want to acknowledge here, as I have not acknowledged across the state of Tennessee, that we had some issues, people left, we had to integrate teams, some people didn't have positions after that integration, and we also suffered some service quality issues, probably from around the summer of 23 to the spring of 24. I have apologized profusely for those service quality issue degradations, and I am really happy to say to this commission and to you, Chairman, 30 seconds, yes, that I have personally, committed to addressing those issues, and I'm very happy to say here that those issues have by and large been addressed. As of January of this year, the average time that our customers, including Anderson County Schools, waited when they called us for support was 19 seconds, which was better than it ever was before Zayo, we integrated with Zayo. And over the last 12 months.
That's your 3 minutes, sir.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Sir.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. I'm Dewey Branstetter. I'm here on behalf of Zayo Education, formerly ENA. Given the short amount of time that we have, what I'd like to do is just provide the committee members with our original protest letter and a supplemental letter that you can read at your leisure. It's all in the notebook that Mr. Norman.
Oh, right here?
Yeah, but
Okay.
these are extra copies for the committee members. For
Oh,
the,
okay.
For the,
All right.
bring it up to you.
Thank you.
They were provided a copy of the official protest.
There's another letter too. And I will be brief because I have to be. Our protest letter summarizes the points that we believe justify setting aside the award to UDT. As Commissioner Mays has said, it puts you in an uncomfortable position, but you are the committee that has to determine whether the protest should be granted or not. And I'm going to mention 3 quick points about why the protest should be granted. One is my client, Zayo ENA, was the lowest cost provider. That is the most important criteria in determining E-rate funding contracts, is who is the lowest cost provider. My client was the lowest cost provider. My client also has the experience that is required to be able to deliver internet services for children in this system as well as systems across this state. They currently serve 94% of all school systems in the state. UDT does not have that experience, and as we have outlined in our protest letter that you have a copy of, they may have provided E-rate services, but they have not provided the type of what's called Category 1 E-rate services, which each school system has to have. That is delivering the internet to the individual schools. And in fact, their network that they reference in their bid proposal, has only been in operation and authorized for less than a year. And my client's internet has been available and authorized for 26 years. And finally, my last point is there really wasn't a meaningful evaluation, which the law requires. The law requires that you go through an evaluation process of the bids that are submitted. The bids were submitted on February the 19th. Literally,
30 seconds.
the next day, a decision was made. And let me show you what the material was. These are copies of the bid responses that went in on February 19th at 4 o'clock, and a decision was made the next day. There was not adequate time in less than a day for those responses to have been appropriately evaluated. And we claim that our...
That's your 3 minutes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, before my 3 minutes start, may I set up a poster?
Sure.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to suspend the rules to allow this.
Motion to suspend the rules to allow. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. Motion carried.
Thank you.
I don't think anybody's gonna be able to read that anymore.
I know, I can't see it.
No, we move it closer then.
You're not gonna have it all.
That's one other point of privilege. May I stand up here instead of like
Sure.
given? Can you all see this? Okay, probably not.
Probably not.
Handout-sized copies.
hold it or put it there?
Yeah.
Yeah, come on. These are copies of
I can see this.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it very much. No, we'll hold it up, like for this vacancy, but the handouts will help.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Much better, thank you. I think. Yeah.
Sir, Sir, may I begin?
Go ahead.
Thank you. So I want to address one very direct thing. We have alleged in the lawsuit that certain employees of UDT engaged in bad acts. And I want to discuss one in particular. The award of this contract by Anderson County also affects other counties that were part of a consortium. Since that time, UDT has appeared to be changing the terms of the RFP and placing new liabilities on this county and others, which is, of course, a particular concern for the Finance Committee. The RFP says, and here I have for you the actual language in the RFP, which has to be followed, that Anderson County reserves the right to terminate in whole or in part with 30 days' notice. In the event of termination, the county shall not be liable for any cost other than the cost of services performed and materials delivered and accepted prior to the termination date. That RFP is a protection that you put into this RFP. UDT has been sending, and we have received copies of an opt-in agreement that they have sent to counties. We have heard from various other counties they have signed this, and here's the opt-in agreement. And I want to emphasize to you what this says. In 3, it says the school system shall be responsible for the full cost of the orders. Such responsibility shall include payment of all costs and expenses UDT incurs for commitments. Key word here, commitments made by UDT to a third party servicing the school system's order. And then look at how they changed the termination. Any termination rights in the contract will not relieve the school system of responsibility or liability for any orders, obligations, or commitments made prior to the exercise of such rights by any party. They have given a contract that is contrary to the terms of the RFP that you entered, and that makes your county and all the other counties that sign it liable for UDT's commitments. It is an unlimited liability. And so I am raising this issue with the Finance Committee because we are very concerned about this. Under Tennessee law, and I've got 2 cases I can give you, the Tennessee Supreme Court has said that if you grant a bid protest, the contract that was initially signed becomes void. In other words, if this committee will simply grant the protest today, it will void these opt-in agreements and relieve this county and other counties of the liability that we contend UDT has put on this county
30 seconds.
in contravention of the plain terms of the RFP. I got 20 seconds left. Are there any questions? I appreciate the well, we agree. It's a real concern. And that's why I wanted to raise this to your attention.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. We'll leave that for the
Mr.
record.
Chairman, I've got a couple of questions, not what he was talking about. Robbie, what were the 2 bids? Do you know? What were the 2 bids? Zayo was the lowest bid? Is this a time to do that?
I don't know,
Or ask that?
Tyler.
Commissioner, Iris, UDT, and Zayo were the 3 that were evaluated. 2 were eliminated on the front end.
So Zayo was the lowest bid?
Right, and I think that, I believe if I understand correctly, Iris was about twice the
Okay.
amount of the other 2, and so they
Okay.
eliminated them pretty much on the front end.
And did I hear him say that Zayo still has the contract as of today?
Well, they have it this fiscal year.
This fiscal year?
Yes.
Gotcha.
We've already we have passed the UDT contract in this committee and commission already as well.
Right. But that doesn't begin until July 1?
That would, exactly.
Okay.
Unless we
Okay.
reverse that.
I just wanted to make sure I understood.
Copies of those cases that you read.
So if I understand Commissioner May's point made earlier, someone's going to be making a motion to schedule an executive session?
I would just ask if there's anybody else that is going to
Wait.
speak from the other parties.
Yes, sir, Commissioner, absolutely. I'm here on behalf of UDT, and it's another lawyer, so we're at your...
How many lawyers?
The same as they had. How's that?
I would like to answer your question a little clearer. My name is Wade Haney. I'm the Director of Technology for the Anderson County School System. And to answer your question on low cost, when we evaluated the RFP responses, as they've already said, there were 5 responses that came back. 2 did not meet the criteria and were initially just set aside. Of the 3 that came in, 1 was twice the cost. So we set that one aside to look at the 2 that was there, which would be Zayo, ENA, and UDT. Those were the 2 that we focused on for that quick turnaround. And to respond to that quick turnaround, I had myself and 3 other employees of Anderson County School System that has the most experience with RFPs to evaluate that. And we sat down, we made a commitment that we were going to do that day, get finished with that regardless of how long it took, because we had to get the turnaround for the federal government timeline that we were under. Okay. And when I looked at the cost proposals, typically we try to upgrade the speeds every year. I went with the premise that I was going to upgrade the speeds. If I upgraded the speeds, ENA was the low cost by just a few $100s a month. So the costs were almost neck and neck. If I stayed where I was at, UDT actually was the low cost provider. So I gave ENA Zayo the benefit of the doubt, assuming I was going to increase that. And if you look at the scoring sheet, 40 points was the cost. ENA received 40 points, but because UDT was so close, they received 39 points. And that's where that came into place. And so it's not quite such a difference in price as it would actually look to be.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, where is the scoring sheets that the gentleman was talking about?
I couldn't answer that question, Commissioner Allen, but I would.
We can provide those. We can provide those.
Well, we want to go ahead and be fair and give the other side's attorneys an opportunity to speak, but folks, keep in mind what we had decided to do was hear the attorneys from both sides.
Yeah.
And then we were going to schedule an executive session so that we could meet with our county attorney with the information that both sides presented and then get guidance on what the next step would be. Is that, was your intent?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. So let's go ahead and allow the attorneys from the other side write down any questions that you may have, and we'll decide when the appropriate time is to address those questions. So attorneys for the other side, if you would, come to the podium, please state your name, and we will give you the customary 3 minutes.
Thank you. This isn't going to be like 17 root canals right here for me, I can tell you, because I'm going to be like my friend Jim back here. I'm just going to introduce people. My name is Jeff Haygood. I'm a lawyer in Knoxville, Tennessee. We're proud to represent these wonderful folks, and I'd say 2 or 3 things before I call up my colleague Todd Moody to talk about the issues to you. Number one, my mama used to say to me all the time, be a gracious winner and be a gracious loser. I don't see a very gracious loser here today, and I will say I have never heard an admission like I heard in front of this body by that gentleman back there. I think he said, and he can correct me in writing to me later on if I'm wrong, we had some issues, Zayo. We had some service quality issues. That's like saying that Duke lost a ho-hum game Saturday night, or the University of Tennessee ain't going to play in Neyland Stadium. That's how bad it is. Now, I want my colleague Todd Moody to tell you just a little bit about issues. Then you're going to hear, nobody's going to be more than 2 minutes. Then you're going to hear from Kitty O'Connor in response to what you heard. And then the CEO flew 800 miles here this morning along with his whole executive team from UDT. This is Henry Fletcher's a wonderful person. Todd, take a minute here, please, sir. Very good.
Good afternoon. I am Todd Moody, and I and Mr. Haygood and our firm represent UDT, and we're proud to do it, with regard to a protest filed by Zayo. Let me quickly tell you why UDT was the right choice as the winning bidder here. A RFP was developed to reflect the needs and concerns of the county and the school system, including the quality of service delivery, which is an area UDT excels at. The county is familiar with its current service issues, return call times, outages, and other problems that your current provider basically has engaged in, as they said, a failure of quality control. And you know what is suitable for your requirements, and those are set out in that RFP. UDT's references and the breadth of experience that were shared with the county and with the school system in the RFP support the bid award. UDT brought fresh and innovative solutions, and they were chosen as the winning bidder. UDT has participated in hundreds of proposals and has been providing school districts with technology solutions for 30 years. It has over 350 employees, and 2/3 of UDT's customers are K through 12 school systems, including 10 of the top 20 in the country. The Zayo protest is without merit. The RFP was fair and open, and each provider had the opportunity to present their best bid. Following a thorough, thoughtful, and lawful review, UDT was chosen as the provider with the most cost-effective service. The RFP did not require a time to evaluate or review the proposals. So Zayo's protest over that is not valid. Zayo never raised a question about the time that the evaluation would take place or the weight given to any criteria or factor until after it did not prevail in the bidding process. There were experienced school district employees, as you
30
heard,
seconds, sir.
who were very capable of making the evaluations. So Zayo's complaints about how the reviewers rated their bid, that merely is reflected in the fact that they lost the bid. So in conclusion, UDT supports the decision to award them the bid, and they are looking forward to working on this contract. They have the experience and capability to meet the needs of Anderson County. Now I'll give the floor
3 minutes,
back
sir.
to Mr. Haygood. And I have a binder with information, if I could supply it.
Brandon added up to that one. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Now, those binders might be like 17 root canals. I'm here to tell you. I'd like to have Henry Fletches, who's the CEO and a wonderful human being, speak to you shortly.
Ladies and gentlemen of this commission, thank you for my 3 minutes. I'm not an attorney. My name's Henry Fletches. I'm the CEO and co-founder of United Data Technologies, also known as UDT. Address 2900 Monarch Lakes Boulevard, Miramar, Florida, 33027. There's 3 things that I came to do here today. I'll just summarize that quickly. Number 1, thank you. Number 2, to express my regret. And number 3, to talk about the importance of a customer. What I did not come here to do today is to dispute this matter in front of you. And what I can promise you publicly is that we will do the right thing, and then we will do things right every step of the way in everything that we do. Now, the 3 points that I summarized: number 1, thank you for putting out an RFP, a public RFP, which gave us the opportunity to respond to that. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to serve you. And I promise we will wake up every day trying to earn you as a customer, understanding that some days we may risk losing you as a customer if we don't deliver the right level of service, but we will work every day to continue to earn your business. Number 2, I regret that we have this forum and that we've brought this matter before you, because it was not the intended format to listen to this dispute. So I apologize for even being up here today. And number 3, we want to make a difference. We want to do the right thing by you as a customer. We want to deliver the right level of service. We want to make sure that we understand. And when we engage and earn a school district's business, we understand that it is about teaching and learning, but we also understand that it is a life safety. It does bring safety into consideration. So everything that we do from a service perspective is with that in mind. So with that, again, I thank you for giving me the opportunity here today. And again, we will do the right thing and then do things right. Thank you.
Our last lawyer will only be 1 minute and a half. This is Kitty O'Connor. She, I think, wants to respond to the trying to scare you with a lawsuit that has really nothing to do with this.
Hi, I'm Kitty O'Connor. I married an Irish Catholic teacher from East Tennessee, and my father-in-law is one of 14. So you can imagine, from Clancy's Tavern to anywhere else, I'm embarrassed at the size of my family. I actually worked at ENA for 9 years. I love the company dearly, and they have provided incredible service across the state. But that's not before you today. What I would say is, under the FCC rules, and I am an attorney who practices telecommunications law, and I'm a member of the Federal Communications Bar, price is the primary factor. What that means is, as long as price is weighted 1 point more than any other factor, that's all that matters in an RFP. And Anderson County did that. If you threaten a school district to take their money away by saying you didn't choose the cheapest one, not only is that wrong and is that a threat, but it's not the rule. The second thing that I'll say is, under FCC rules, never can a customer just not pay their bill if their money doesn't come through for their discount. That would be considered a violation of the gift rules. The last thing that I will tell you is embarrassing to me. I was laid off on maternity leave while I was working for Zayo. It was one of the hardest things I have ever been through as a mother. Mr. McCurley was kind enough to let me work as a consultant for a little while after because he's a gracious man. But I will tell you that it was hard on me, and I am really good at my job. I wake up every day to win your business, and I am horrified to even share that with you, but I say it not to garner your respect, but to let you know it is hard for me to stay in this business, but it's something that I love to do, and I can promise that I will work hard for you as an employee of UDT. Thank you.
We came in under the wire a minute and a half. I thank you for, Mr. Chairman and members of the commission. Thank you so much for your service. I love the fact that you did the Pledge of Allegiance. I love it even more, Dr. Parrott, that you started with a prayer. That tells me what kind of people you are, and I'm proud of you. Thank you for listening to us, and God bless you.
Thanks, sir. So now we discuss a date for a executive session. Does anybody have any dates in mind?
Well, this committee is going to meet again on the 24th for budget hearings. I don't think the deadline for the agenda for the special meeting has gone out yet. Mr. Holbrook, am I correct?
It has not.
It could be put on the special agenda for that day, either before or after the budget hearings. I'll just throw that out there. I will be available. I'll stay if I need to. That's one day that I know everybody would be accounted for. I'll work within the schedule and the preference of this committee.
Mr. Chairman, I have a question. Robbie, do you think we will have many on that day?
Possibly 4 or 5.
Possibly 4 or 5.
Yes.
And we're going to begin at 4 o'clock,
We are.
right?
I mean, I know we'll have the sheriff and Johnny. Probably not, maybe too many more than that.
24th good with everybody?
It's good for me.
Mr. Chairman, when we get to that day, I know that I just want to make sure that the information we have today and then what we've heard today, I mean, Jamie, do they have the ability to bring more information, or is this kind of the full Monty here, then we talk to you and then we just make the decision?
Commissioner, while I told both sides in an email they would have an opportunity to file, I didn't say it would be after today. I didn't say it would be, or it couldn't be after today, but I have told Mr. Norman that they needed to get everything in today, and that's what they've done. I don't know that UDT has anything additional. I've not heard that, so it would be my belief that we have the record, so to speak, in front of us.
Thank you, sir.
April 24th good with everybody?
Yes.
Do we want to set a specific time since the budget hearings are going to start at 4?
I'm going to schedule those hearings, so I say we do this first thing. We go into executive session at 4.
Okay.
And
last time we did this, we went to executive session. The law director gave us his opinion, along with Catherine and I, and then we came out and made a motion to support or deny which is all we have to do.
Yes, sir.
And then they have 90 days to file in Chancery Court if they're not happy with that decision.
And if I recall Director Brooks' comments, and he can correct me if I'm wrong, our purpose is not to look at which company was better or not. It was to determine if the process used by the school department was correct.
Right. Your role is to evaluate the process, not judge the merits of either contract or either bid.
Thank you. So do we have a motion to add the executive session to the April 24th Budget Committee agenda, which would in essence put this off until after that?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Allen. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Mays. Any discussion? Commissioner White.
I don't see why that we're meeting at all. Apparently, Mr. Perry and Mr. Haney have done this process correctly. The bids have been awarded. Why would we meet in executive session and give credibility to this bid process? I think it's been settled. I don't see any reason at all why we should meet and go over this process. That's my opinion.
Any further discussion?
I agree with Commissioner White, but unfortunately, we have that in our guidelines that they get to do it. So,
Any further discussion?
You do not have to have an executive session. You can make a motion and decision tonight. It's what I think Commissioner White was saying.
yeah, I mean,
To support the bid process and as we did the bus contract. I mean, I signed off on the bid. I supported it. I'll give my I have no problem with the way
Talk
it's.
a little louder.
I'm sorry. I'm talking in this microphone. I feel like it's working. I said I signed the bid. I mean, the RFP, the bid was awarded. I signed the bid award just like Dr. Parrott did, and I have no problem with the process at all. Just like I did with the bus contractors.
Then let's kick it down the road and go on.
The motion on the floor is to approve the executive session date.
Mr. Chairman?
Commissioner Allen.
Yeah, I'd like to withdraw my motion.
All right, that puts it back out then. Do we have a motion?
yeah, I know it sounds contradicting, but I think that we have I don't like the process, but we have a process in place, and whether it had been UDT or the other group, we've set out what that process is. And I think that we have to do our due diligence and be fair under the rules in which we are currently operating. I agree with Commissioner White. I don't like that we have a bid protest section in our guidelines, but we do. And just like we did with the bus contract, we did our due diligence, we listened to both sides, and then and I don't know what the rules are, but I don't want to be strung up in Chancery Court in 6 months having to answer to why we didn't give it, we're doing this to ourselves. So if we got these rules, we need to follow them.
You going to take that motion?
Yeah, I made a motion to have it on the
Executive
24th. Well, the executive session at that point is still debatable, but I just think if the law director is giving us legal guidance and stuff to protect us as a body, I would rather that just be for us.
So Commissioner Allen had made the motion to add the executive session to the April 24th agenda. He withdrew his motion, so we still need a motion to do that.
My motion is to move this to the 24th, our decision. Whether we go into executive session or not, I think we can make a motion at that point, but I think we just refer this.
So we just need a motion to put it on the agenda.
I'm making a motion to refer this to the April 24th meeting.
Okay. Motion by Commissioner Mays to move the item to the April 24th Budget Committee agenda, seconded by Commissioner Vandegrift. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no.
No.
Motion carries. Thank y'all for coming. You're free to stay if you'd like, if you're looking for entertainment, but
I've had one root canal. I don't
blame you.
more. I had to listen to it.
Don't blame you.
Good to see y'all.
Thank you,
God
sir.
bless you.
You like that? You're hard.
I don't. I hate that we have this.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
I mean, all we're gonna do is make sure that the bid process, I mean.
All right, if we can continue on with our agenda, folks.
Awesome.
Mr. Chairman, can we have a break?
You want a break? Okay. Break for 10 minutes. Commissioners, we'll come back to order. We will continue on with the agenda. Next item is the capital asset surplus request. Director Holbrook, go ahead, sir.
We have 6 vehicles for surplus, all starting bids at $500.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Palmer to approve the surplus request. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Allen. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. Motion carried.
Okay. Cash and fund balance report, ending March 2025. The general fund, unassigned fund balance, $11,062,435. Total fund balance, $17,848,531. Cash, $24,704,451. The school department, total fund balance, $10.5 million. Cash, $23.2 million. And any questions on the fund balance report? Our cash was up $1.8 million from last year at this time.
Any questions on the capital fund balance report? Commissioner Small.
Yeah, Robbie, how does our fund balance at this point compare with last year? You may not have that information.
Yes, it's up from last year. I think we finished a little, right around 10 million last year, or a little bit above. We're about $1 million above last year. Mm-hmm. Plus, keep in mind, we have moved some of the fund balance to the assigned funds. We've moved 10% of the rollover, I believe, or 20% of the rollover each year to assigned funds. So the assigned's 4.1 million, unassigned's 10 million.
So in actuality,
11 million.
we could even be above what you.
We are, but it's in assigned for capital projects.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any further questions? Continue on.
Sales tax, really quickly, February, 3.8 million for the county as a whole. That's down 1.1%. Anderson County portion, 454, 113,000, which is a little lower than last February at 463.
Any questions on the sales tax report?
ARPA projects, we still have 10 or 11 projects that have not been completed yet. In total interest remaining, 207,399.71.
Any questions on the ARPA project? Hearing none, moving on.
And the last is the grant projects list for fiscal year 24-25. We did add 2 at the end, emergency management and EMS grant, 28,800.
Any questions on the projects list? Or the grant list, I should say. Hearing none, moving on.
Okay. Transfers that do not require commission approval. There are 15 of those, 1 through 15.
Move to approve as a group.
Commissioner Mays moves to approve items 1 through 15 as a group, seconded by Commissioner Allen. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. Motion carried.
Okay, the school department, they have 16, 17, 18, 2 appropriations and 1 payroll transfer.
Motion to approve as a group.
Commissioner Smallridge moves to approve items 16 through 18 as a group. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Allen. Any discussion?
I have one question.
Commissioner Palmer.
Just real quickly, Mr. Parrott, what is the family engagement night? Is that?
That is a part of a grant that the state puts on, and we use that money to, they just, like they have a STEM night or they have a health fair night and things like that, and it's just taking that money and moving it back into
And
that.
so this is for supplies for that one night?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and I asked Marcus that question too. And it's tied to the state lottery for education after school program.
Gotcha.
Because of the inclement weather, there was some extra funds left in the account. So the grant monitored to use these funds for this purpose. And it's
Okay.
like 5 schools qualified.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Motion carried.
Okay, number 19 is a appropriation from the Highway Department for an insurance recovery, $29,224. And we have received the revenue as well.
Motion to approve.
Commissioner Palmer moves to approve item number 19. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Mays. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. Motion carried.
Okay, number 20 is appropriation from the Conservation Board, Ben Taylor. It's $500 insurance recovery and moving that into maintenance and repair.
Motion to approve.
Commissioner Palmer moves to approve item number 20. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Vandegrift. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. Motion carried.
Number 21 is a solid waste appropriation. Actually, I did it, but I put Jeff's name on it. It's increasing trustees commission $5,000. And I always look at the trustees commissions. I just run an account analysis of all trustees commissions and fix the ones that need help. And moving that out of the restricted for public health and welfare. It just means we're collecting more revenue in that fund than we anticipated. And I have taken care of that in next year's budget, or Jeff has, increasing that to $40,000.
Motion to approve.
Commissioner Allen moves to approve item number 21. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Smallridge. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say no. Motion carried.
Okay, number 22 is from EMS. We are increasing revenue, state health and welfare grant, EMS training supplements, $28,800, and increasing medical personnel, $28,000, and supervisor director, $800. 36 employees qualified for this training supplement. It's the first time EMS has received it. It's the same supplement that the sheriff's department receives each year from the state as well.
So it'll be kind of like an in and out thing, no?
I'm sorry. Yes.
Nothing.
Except for benefits, the county,
Right.
Social Security, Medicare. There's no retirement that comes out of this.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Allen moves to approve item number 22. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Palmer. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say no. Motion carried.
Okay. Number 23 through 25 is from the Finance Department. The first one is Gov Deals, increasing the revenue $6,000 and the purchasing contracted services $6,000. It just means we're selling more stuff on Gov Deals and we need more money in that revenue code. And also the shoreline, the parks were able to only use $28,500 of the Monsanto settlement fund, so I'm moving $41,500 back into a restricted or assigned for that for the shoreline. So in case we need it later, we do have some other issues with shoreline projects in the park currently. And debt service, $10,000 for trustees commission, restricted from debt service. I would like to say that the reason for this is we have collected $1,143,463 to date in interest. All the interest that we collect on the bank accounts goes into debt service, and then at the end of the year, I put it in each fund based on their cash for that month. So we're up 129% from last year at this
Wow.
time.
Awesome.
That's pretty significant.
Give her some credit for that. And the last
I feel
one
like
is
we should clap.
yeah. That was the three.
Approve as a group.
23 through 25.
Commissioner Allen moves to approve items number 23 and 25, or 24 is marked out, right?
No, 24 was the first budget amendment was marked out. It's just a copy.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'll put that just to show what we did originally.
Okay. All right.
There's 23, 24, and 25.
Okay. Commissioner Allen approves to approve 23, 24, and 25. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Vandegrift. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. Motion carried.
Okay, 26 through 31 are from the mayor's office. The first one is archives, increasing part-time and other contracted services from archives and records restriction, $9,444. The second one is $857,840 ARC grant. It's just putting the grant money on the books as well. We've already put the matching funds for the EMS training facility. And then $2,133.94 for other contracted services for the senior center out of donations from the senior center for annual alarm monitoring system at the senior center, and then 3 senior center grants that we are putting that have been approved and we're putting on the books as well.
Make a motion to approve as a group.
Commissioner Mays moves to approve items number 26 through 31 as a group. Seconded by Commissioner Allen. Any discussion? Commissioner Smalley.
Yeah, just part-time personnel, is that a one-time thing, or is that something that would?
Actually, that will be, the mayor's making that request for next year too, and she will be at the budget hearings to explain that as well.
Any further discussion? So I'll tell a little story. During our jail in-house in-service training this year, we included training on the history of the Anderson County Jail. where it started with the log cabin over here across the street where Clinton City Hall is, how it moved to a block building over here where we think Tennessee Bonding Company is currently located, the Bell Tower Courthouse, when it burned, the third floor of the courthouse in '67 was made, and Zach with Archives was instrumental in collecting that information for us. He found old newspaper clippings, just incredible stories of during the history, and ran across quite a few things too that we couldn't even include in there. But that department's one of those departments that you really don't pay a whole lot of attention to, but it is so interesting what you can find located there. So I just wanted to give a shout out to him and the mayor's office for being over that. They really contribute a lot to this county that I think a lot of people don't realize and don't see. Very interesting statistics.
That's pretty cool.
Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Motion carried.
Thank you. I would also like to say Zach handles our GovDeals account for the finance department. He used to do that when he was employed by finance, and so I asked him if he'd like to take that on again, and he does that, and he does a really good job with that as well. He enjoys doing that, so he stays on that really well. 32 through 37 are from the Sheriff's Department. I can go through these if you'd like. Insurance recovery for $12,626. I would like to go through this one, and I may need Bryce to come up. This insurance recovery is from the Sheriff's Department, for the Sheriff's Department, but they would like to transfer it to EMA for a side-by-side repurpose of a side-by-side vehicle in the EMA department. Bryce, go ahead and tell me about that if you want to.
So, when was it? 23?
About a year ago to this month, we met.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So basically, we talked about it about a year ago, trying to purchase an enclosed side-by-side. We don't currently have one. We rely on using theirs pretty regular. And I believe it was winter before last. I actually had a brother-in-law up on Black Oak, had a heart attack. And I think it was their side-by-side, and it may have been EMS responded on it to get him from his house down, because that was the when we had all the ice, to an ambulance waiting, and they got him there, and he had surgery, and he's still with us today. And that prompted the discussion last year after that storm was over of trying to look at getting something, and it just kind of got away from us. And so this recovery is from a truck that we totaled at the jail. We have the vehicle to replace it anyway, and we thought it would be, it's not really enough to go buy another truck, but it's enough to make what he's got enclosed with heat for, in case, that's another story.
Yeah. So it'll fully encapsulate the entire unit. It'll have heat, it'll have AC. So even during the summer months, it'll still be usable. So that's our plan going forward with it.
That's just the information on that one. On 33, it's $3,000 from the sexual offended restricted funds to other charges. 34 is another supplement from the state law enforcement training program, $51,200, increasing revenue and bonus retention payments for the Sheriff's Department. And we have received that money as well. 35 is a increase in revenue for dispatch contracted services, $74,834, and increasing dispatch overtime, $65,834, Social Security $2,000, retirement $6,500, and Medicare $500. We did budget for dispatch revenue, but we are also getting extra revenue from Oliver Springs, and that was not budgeted for. So this will allow us to put that budget, use that money funds for their shortfalls, because they've taken on some of the cities, and we've had shortage in employees. I'm guessing. Shortage in employees. They've used a lot of overtime in the dispatch, as we do almost every year too, because we have some issues retaining employees there as well. And 36 is a insurance recovery, $2,137.28 for vehicle maintenance and repair. And the last one is the detention facility overtime, increasing it $70,000 from $160 jailer's pay. I think they are about 14 short in at the detention facility currently, so had overtime because of that as well.
Robbie, does number 34, do we get that every year?
Yes, the way,
Okay.
And it could increase because we're currently, and I think Mr. Brooks has some of those on his in operations Monday night, and will be in the contracts. We have reworked a couple of the memorandums of understanding with the cities.
Okay.
Based on the more fees, more revenue. Oliver Springs is currently where we want them to be, but I think they'd like to see Norris and Rocky Top and possibly maybe just those two pay more than they are currently. So
Okay.
I think that it could increase up to 100 and I wrote it on here, $142,000, and we're currently at 65. Is what we budgeted. But this increase of 74 will put us close to the revenue that we'll collect this year.
No, number 34. I'm sorry, that's the law enforcement training program.
Yes, what'd you ask me about it?
Is that something that we get every year? Does
We
that
get
recur?
one of those supplements every year. We've gotten 2 this year and 1 for SOR, right, Paul? So we've already gotten 3 supplements this year.
Do we apply for it every year?
I don't.
Or does it?
They have to go through, it's part of their annual training.
They have,
Okay.
There are people have to qualify, like they did for EMS. There's certain, and
It's
each
the
year
same
they have to
type thing.
requalify.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like they're post-certified and they have to go through their annual training and
Gotcha.
to get it.
Good. All right. Thank you.
Sorry, I answered the wrong one. Sorry.
And the jails the same, they go through it
They
as well.
do the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Do we have a
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve as a group.
Yes.
Commissioner Palmer moves to approve items number 32 through 37 as a group. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Smallridge. Any further discussion? I'm going to abstain from this. I don't get overtime. I can't tell you the last time I got it, but it may come up in the future. And with the way the current laws are with the state legislature, and who knows what's going to change over the next few months, I'm just going to go ahead and be safe and abstain just in case. There'll be abstention for cause, which will lower the requirement on the vote from 5 to 4.
Okay.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Motion carried.
Okay. 38 is from the tourism department. Stephanie Wells, we're decreasing clerical personnel at $1,404 and increasing medical insurance by that same amount.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Palmer to approve item number 38. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Allen. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. Motion carried.
Okay, and the last budget amendment I have is from the Clinton Public Library. It is also a transfer to payroll, decreasing their librarian's code, $2,500, and increasing part-time about the same amount.
Motion to approve.
Commissioner Smallridge moves to approve item number 39. Do we have a second? Second by Commissioner Vandegrift. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. Motion carried.
Okay. Next on the sections agenda, Section A, we have 9 grant applications. There was one that had an unknown amount at this time. Bryce did confirm that it's $21,000. 4 EMA, and of those 4 EMA, 1 has a match, the $33,709 TEMA grant. 1 is from Dental Safety Net, $20,000 to $60,000 no match. The FJC grant, $200,000 no match. Solid Waste, a TDEC recycling grant, $125,000. It does have a 50% match, and 2 MS grants. One from Tennessee Highway Safety Office to $19,006 no match, and the last grant $2,536 no match.
Move to approve.
These are
Commissioner
just
Mays.
applications, too. Does not mean we'll get these grants.
Right. Move to approve Section A.
Commissioner Mays moves to approve Section A as a group. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Vandegrift. Any discussion?
I do. I have a couple questions.
Commissioner Palmer.
So, did you say that was a non-matching, the one that had the unknown on there?
It has no match required.
It has no match required, okay. And we don't know where the match, these that require a match, do we know where we would take that money from?
Typically, like solid waste, it would come from their fund. I mean, they come
From
from their
their-
fund.
okay.
It's a 116 fund, so
Okay.
it would come from theirs. EMA would probably come from their budget. They typically, any kind of match,
Mhm.
they
All right.
pay for themselves.
And just a comment that we do have a grant here that's going to affect animal control, so we are progressing with animal control.
That's what we do.
Sometimes, sometimes we don't see, the public doesn't see these kind of things, but we are taking care of animals. Thank you. I'm finished.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Motion carried.
Okay, Section B is a Anderson County EMS station concept design. The mayor asked for this to be on the agenda, and I'll let her come up and speak about this.
Mayor Frank.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So what I'm asking, there are funds that are already budgeted for other capital, but as this is a major expense, I wanted to ask for permission. What we have done is embarked on a look at the multiple EMS stations across Anderson County, and what would they need to look like if we, over the next 5, 10, 15 years, if we wanted to start replacing those stations and putting in place some stations that serve our staff safely, is readily identifiable by the community. And so we working with EMS, Nathan Sweet, his team, they worked with the architect, and we did that concept development. And we did present that at the strategic workshop. And so what we would like to do next is only look at the next 2 phases, which would be, let's see here, the schematic design, that's the part that's been completed. The next would be design development and actual construction documents. And the purpose in that is to be able to, first of all, go ahead, have those designs in place, those construction designs in place. The one thing we left out of there was any site plan. So this will be a prototype design. The purpose of doing a prototype is that we could go into any community. It would be the same facility, be readily identifiable by the public. If you're in Rocky Top, you're going to recognize this is EMS. If you're in Oak Ridge, you're going to recognize this is EMS if you're just a member of the community at large. The other thing is you save funds by using the same design. So if you go build one in one community, you're not having to start over again. You're just able to use that same design. So that's what we're looking at doing there. The only thing, if the county decides, hey, what do we want to look at? Do we want to look at building 1? Do we want to look at building 2? We did talk to the architects. Could we get efficiencies of scale, for instance, like say you went to bid on 2 of them at the same time? They said we could do that as an alternate and see. There might be some cost savings because, if you're building something, there's never any time that's cheaper than it is now because you're just going to keep looking in the future and facing inflation. But this proposal doesn't do anything other than do that work. It doesn't do site plan. It's not doing the specific sites because no decisions are made. No decision is even made if we're going to build one. that would still be on commission at that point in time where we had some firm numbers, what the commission would want to do. Do you want to just put it on a shelf for a while? You have the ability to do that. You would have full construction documents. Do you want to trigger it? Then it would trigger starting some discussions about where the sites would be and what makes sense for commission.
Do we have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Commissioner Allen moves to approve item B.
Yes, and what the mayor's asking for is $8,800 from the 171 fund, 171,991, 110, 799, which is already budgeted, but for bigger items, we like to come here and ask and make you all aware.
So do we need a motion?
Yes.
Okay. Commissioner Allen moves to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Mays. Any discussion?
Yes.
Commissioner Smallwood.
Mayor, I have just a couple questions. Is this something we got RFPs or quotes from architectural firms? And then for Robbie, what's the balance in the capital fund that you mentioned?
I think it was like $95,000 this year in that code. We have a couple of other codes that have money in it as well in the 171 code. 171.
On what we do with architects, they're professional services, so we will just get requests for qualifications. We have used Studio 4 before, so we use them for the senior center. I know just personally as the mayor on projects I'm working on, I try to vary the architects we use. My theory is that it's better to have more relationships than just put all of our eggs in one basket with one design firm. So the Studio 4, I'm trying to think any other thing that they have done for us recently. They are going to work on the EMS training facility.
The senior center.
Yeah, I said the senior center. Yeah, they are used by City of Clinton a lot on some of their work. So that's how I came to be familiar with them when we were talking about doing. I'm sorry, not EMS, an EOC. Yeah, when we were looking at the partnership project with EOC in the City of Clinton, it was Studio 4 Designs, which is now Michael Graves' company. They have a partnership there. That's who we worked with. So EOC will be part fire department. We'll have the bays on the side there. And part of that was based on the City of Clinton making the land available for us to do that EOC. So that's how they were chosen. I mean, they're qualified. They've done a great job for us in the past. Have good fees, reasonable fees as well.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. Motion carried.
Okay, section C is from our IT department, Brian Young. It's Microsoft Office 365 with the MFA components for cybersecurity. We have 3 quotes here for 302 users. I'll let Brian speak about this really quickly and let you all know what's going on.
Director Young, go ahead, sir.
Good evening, commissioners. Our Microsoft Office products, along with our multi-factor authentication products that this commission voted into place, I think it was one of the very first items when the commission started, this commission we're in now, we dealt with the MFA. It was approved. That comes from a recommendation from Tennessee Risk Management, our insurer provider from Nashville, that we keep MFA in place, and commission graciously provided that. At that time, for both of these products, I explained that we would run this with our, I believe it was our COVID ARPA money was what that was coming from, that was provided, and we've stretched it till June 30. It will run until that date. All of our systems are funded with the remainder of that money. But after that fact, July 1, we don't have a process in place to fund what was approved. So I'm coming here to see what we can do to get that in place, along with the Microsoft portal, which is our Word, Excel, Outlook, PowerPoint that most of the offices are running. In order to save some fees, we did a research and did some analysis with each of the department heads, each of the directors, et cetera. And what we came down from 450 plus users, if we just bought a copy for each machine, each employee, would have been a lot more. We worked with the directors to find out, and the elected officials, what is the true need, how many computers really need to be used with Office, and the total is 302. So that's a major savings in itself, and then we've put it out to 3 different contractors that we currently use, and we've got varying prices, but the one account that did give us the good price, I'm happy with that moving forward. But in order to move forward, I have to have a process to fund this, so that's why I'm here.
Which one are you going with?
Avero Group, I believe, is who we've chosen.
The 7791.
Yes, and they are the lowest price. And this is a product from Microsoft they're reselling, so it's not a difference in, it's just each company would provide the same service. The reason we use these 3, if I were to go online and just purchase and add the licenses that we need, it would be $88,000. That's available at any time to do if we had the funding. But using a third party to do their volume sales through Microsoft VARs and value-added resellers, they have a volume program which we used. Terry had the idea. I liked her thought process on that. I put that back out, and they came out with, it's about $11,000 to bring us to 77. So that is pretty much a yearly. It'll be reoccurring. It covers the entire 100% of all departments in the county. That is needs to be set into stone in some way with the budget, and that's where I approached Robbie on where we go from here.
I'll make a motion to approve it, but I want a discussion.
Commissioner Palmer makes a motion to approve Section C. Do we have a second?
Second.
Who did that?
He was much more authoritative than mine. My voice got cut off.
Commissioner Allen seconds the motion. Do we have any discussion? Commissioner
Yes.
Palmer.
So Robbie, where would this money come from?
Well, I was going to ask that, if this is for next year's budget, it would just be placed in the budget and.
Can we take that 77,000 and divide it by the 302 computers and charge it to the departments or that have the computers?
We can, yes.
It may be out of their data processing or
If they,
code
a lot
or
of the
something.
departments don't have a code like that, but yeah, it's the same as putting it in if it's, these are general fund users. If it's a different fund, and Ron can give me that, then they should pay for their own. But if it's a general fund, then
it comes
could
out.
be in one code.
So how do we need to handle that or look at that or?
I'll get with him and can bring that to you all on the 24th, the
Okay.
breakdown of that. And the MFA, we just paid a contract to BCTI that started March and runs to the next March. So we really have that paid for the next year as well.
And is that being charged to the departments or?
Just one.
No, just
that
one is
yeah.
for everybody. Okay.
So, Mr. Chairman, yeah. This, you said you stretched it to June 30?
Yes, to June.
So what you're asking for tonight, do you need to have this funds in place and locked and loaded for July 1?
Correct. That's
Okay.
what my goal is, because
So you need to purchase it before July 1 to start July 1?
It actually is around the 5th. There's varying dates because it's 4 tenants. There's 4 pieces that make this the whole. It's the sheriff, the Tenaxo, Anderson County TN.gov, and then a couple other two, the courts, the AndersonCourts.org. All of those tenants are due around the 1st of the month. Some are the 5th, one I think is the 12th. They're in varying dates, but when those dates come, they go to the trustee or the Truist cards and pay from the accounts there that Karen and I watch.
So assuming the budget is passed by June 30th, there's not an issue if we
No.
approve this in the budget process.
And I'm pretty sure Brian will be using that 307.
307's
to
already
code for
discretion.
communication. So we already have enough money in place to start that July 1st anyway as well.
Okay. And then to replenish that, since if he's not actually budgeting for it, we can address that.
Yes. And we
Okay.
still have 20, I looked at the ARP spreadsheet that we looked at earlier. There's still $22,700 available for that IT, still in the ARP money. So I'm not sure how much we're eating out of that, using of that.
John has it pretty, I don't know if he has the numbers available, but we were, I think 4,000 will be left by the end of the but see, one thing that's happening, we're adding users because we're getting things that have to occur technically, so we've had to add users, and that price is steadily increasing. We should easily go to the end of the fiscal, but we don't want to add in mass any more accounts into that.
Will this be in a budget hearing? Like, is his department going to be one of the ones?
I hadn't planned on it, but if I wasn't 100% aware this was for next year, and I probably should have put this on the budget hearings for next month instead of in today's agenda. But honestly, it's something that we have to have to each department. I know that has to have to operate. So I mean, we have no choice but to pay it.
Right. And the follow-up question, this would be for you, and I guess for Drew. I'm glad he's here. Cybersecurity. I know that there's been some classes that they can take through the portal.
Correct.
But do we have anything that's required of these employees for cybersecurity?
As a policy?
And if they don't do it, what are the ramifications?
That's a good question, Drew. I'm not sure how.
Well, I know that on the My Benefits channel that we do, HR, and I can let Drew, while he's walking up here, I'll say this, that we get notifications. Like, I get emails if I have anybody in my department that hasn't completed any video yet, they need to watch that. And so they are on top of it, and Shane probably can vouch for the same thing. So, but I'll let Drew respond.
Yeah, we send out the reminders that they are to do the required trainings, ramifications if they don't.
I would just,
Drew gets mad. Yeah, Drew gets mad. We don't really have anything in place if they
I guess
don't.
that's my concern, is cybersecurity is such a huge issue. And there's a sheriff in Middle Tennessee who's now gone two times without pay because of a cybersecurity issue, and just being the finance team being uninformed of issues out there.
Yes.
I just think that's something as a county, from a liability perspective, that there should be something strong in place.
Yes.
If these people do not complete this training.
We're currently in the IT department. With this year's budget, we've worked in a new vendor that will do a lot of testing to follow up to see if what Drew gives us or what we keen or get out there from our staff while we're working with everybody. We can deploy pen testing, we can deploy testing to the staff, and they won't know they're being tested. Basically, when they might get an email, they might get something that pops on their screen when they're surfing. It'll come from the IT department. It is safe, but it's testing and it'll build metrics for us that will, next year, I'll have a lot more information on what the weaknesses are, what the strengths are of our body.
Yeah.
But at this point, I know we're in line with Tennessee management, and we're ahead of a lot of counties. What I get to see with some of the cybersecurity being on the committee and subcommittee for Homeland Security with that issue is that in the state of Tennessee, there are only, I think it's 11 counties that have IT directors. The rest of them are really in a place that leaves them in a cyber place that's not good. The schools on the other side of that equation have 70% IT direction. 76%. So as a county, we're ahead of the curve, but there's so many counties in the state that are not. And the smaller the county, the less they have. And that goes into, IT being, it's a 20 plus year digital age began. We're still trying to find our roots in government and how to apply it with policy. But I'm open for any suggestions you all have. But I'm on my side. We're setting up some things that will give us some good insights.
Good. Awesome. Thank you.
And I will say this too, Tyler. The majority of the phishing emails or fraud emails we get are for ACH, fraud, like wanting us to change ACH deposits, and we only take those on My Benefits or in person. So.
And that's what happened in Middle Tennessee.
Yeah.
It was an email and without even following up, oh, okay, well, we'll do it.
know.
Boom, and then
Well, I got two.
sheriff
This one-
wasn't getting paid.
Our staff, that I will say from what I see from this group, they always let us know. If it happens to any of you all let us know. What these people do is they just send an email. It could be from any address, and they just put your names in the field when they're creating the account, that it's your name. And then what the user sees when they open the email, unless they go granular and actually hover over your name, they're not going to see, they'll see Tyler Mays. They're not going to see something, whatever, 20 digits at gmail.com. So but our staff, with working with HR through the years, I feel like we're ahead of the curve. And I will say this, we have got systems in place, and I won't go into details on them, but if they do mess up, if staff makes a mistake in that regard, our processes will prevent those things from occurring on 4 levels up. So it's not, I feel my job, that's my priority, is to keep you cyber secure, keep this county in that state. And as it stands right now, I will say you're in good shape.
Commissioner Smart.
Yep. Brian, I think you mentioned you worked with the departments to narrow down the number
Yes.
that you would. What determines whether whether employees or machines need a
Well, I'll use Jeff Cole. I like his office and the way he started. He was the first one I started that project with. And out of his users, how many were actually on the computer that would be needing those products? Now, everybody needs an email, but then do you need a computer to run that email, or can you get it on your phone? Or can you get it on your personal device? And things like, some people want to do that, others don't. Where we can, where it's okay, we do that, and that saves money. Each of the department heads gave me a savings. What we found out was probably about a 20% reduction, I would say, a little more. On the total number was 458, I think, and we took it to 302. So each department head, elected official, dug deep, gave me good insights, and gave me direction. I wasn't guessing. I had hard data.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? So the motion on the floor is to approve this, but if I understood the conversation between the finance director and Commissioner Mays,
It would just go in next year's budget.
okay, so
Now, I
you
don't
want us to go
currently
ahead and
have that
vote
in
on it
next year's
tonight?
budget, but I will add it. We can. There's no harm in
Okay.
it.
So you're deferring it?
No.
No, what?
Robbie said we go ahead
No,
and
it's
vote.
good. I think it's good to go ahead and, if you want to, it gives us more direction where we're
Okay.
at, is the budget as a whole instead of.
So we're just approving the amount, not where it's going to come from yet. So that'll come later, or how we're going to handle it.
Yeah.
Okay.
One thing I want to add in here, these fees are not instantaneous on July 1 or starting that fiscal. This is a gradual up to that amount, because it takes time fiscally to actually go out and employ these into those positions on those computers across the county. So it'll be a gradual, slow increase over a few months before it gets to that amount.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. Motion carried.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Section D is the vacation payout policy by Commissioner Palmer. We discussed this in the last meeting, and the Finance Department and HR as well are interested in making a couple of changes to our vacation policy. One is how we accrue leave. Right now, we front load leave, and we did check with several surrounding counties, and there's not one county we could find that front loads leave. They accrue it monthly, and we would like to go to a monthly accrual for sure as one step. And another one is some counties, or maybe a possible vacation, a payout cap, like with the number of hours. We've had 2 extremely large payouts this year. That is something we can do. Sevier County has a 96-hour cap. I think that's kind of low, but just the accrual will help with some of that. I do think it's something that, we really, HR is now under the mayor, and we don't have we have had an advisory meeting since that's happened, but we don't have them as often. But I would like to get the elected officials involved and engaged in this, and it's possible that this committee, the recommendation you make is to have a HR advisory meeting and get it out in front, and hopefully we can get this done by July 1st. So that meeting need to be sooner rather than later, and I'll let Commissioner Palmer.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we send this to the HR committee to review and to send something back to us for the May, we're April now, right? May budget. Would that be possible to have an HR committee meeting before the May?
We just have to call a special meeting, but just that means just putting it in the paper.
And I think it'd be good because the elected officials are on there, some of the elected officials, and so they can review it. It gives the law director an opportunity to review it, perhaps employees to weigh in if they'd like to. The HR director can look at it, for compliance as well. It just gives a little bit of time. But I think, just a quick comment on this, I think we've got to have some really good sound policies in place to carry us through, whatever may lie ahead in the years to come. And I just don't think we can run the risk of having multiple people retiring in 1 year. We had a little taste of that with two that had huge payouts. If we have more, and I can speak to the aging population, I believe, we are aging, and so that could possibly happen. So we just need to have some good, sound, sensible policies in place.
And Randy's provided us with some really good policy
And
already.
yes, I'd like to say,
And a
Randy,
good
this was
checklist.
excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you very much for providing
And we'll just
this.
take this same information to the,
So I make a motion to refer it to the HR committee and see if they could get us something back by the May budget that we can review and maybe get something in place.
Second by Commissioner Vandergrift. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Motion carried.
okay. The next up is the fiscal year budget, proposed budgets. Just really quickly, I know we have another meeting scheduled for this, but the biggest take I wanted you all to have from the spreadsheet, which I know it's hard to read because it's so small, is the last page on the spreadsheet for the general fund. If you take currently with all the asks from all the departments, this is what their budget they turned in, with the sheriff's increasing like with 5%. The property assessor budget with $90,000 of salary increases. We are sitting at a $964,968 deficit. To compare, I took all the budgets, the department budgets, down to no increase except for contract increases because we have to pay those. And we have a surplus of $439,230. So that's why I like something